Good morning, Digital Art 2 students. Hopefully you had a great spring break. I am here. We're going to go over the next steps that are going to happen in your short story illustration here. We're going to start by reviewing where we were at last week. You were supposed to go on to your out of school folder and find one of the 4 stories that are on there. Pick one, read through it again, jot down any details. That was the first step right here, where I've taken and just jot down some quick notes about descriptors, about what they're telling you, that the environment and the characters and some of the accessories that go with the characters that make up the story. What are the details that you're going to write down, that you can illustrate, that you can start drawing, okay? After you do that, you start doing some character elements that I have here. I've got the Archeon, the Ever-Chosen was the one I sketched out here, and the main characters, we have the king, the throne on a pile of skulls, and the Chancellor character that's in there. So I quickly sketched those out. And as you can see, they're just quick little doodles that I put on there, okay? After that, I read the situation, and I've got the king being presented this stone by the Chancellor in his throne room. So I draw that very straightforward, and then I rotate it 6 times. I have 6 quick illustrations, taking that and taking like a camera view and going around it 360 degrees and looking and raising the eye level and dropping the eye level, trying to tell what's the best way to tell that story, okay? What's the most interesting way to tell that story, what tells all the information, and what gives me the best composition. I decided that I was going to do this one here after I went through it and I rotated it. I'm going to rotate slightly behind the Chancellor, presenting the stone up, and I'm going to lower the eye level to make it a little bit more dramatic, okay? Once I decide on that, then I do a more finished out sketch, okay? And this is, again, a sketch, and I drew it out there, and then I went over the top of that sketch after I worked out my characters, and I decided my characters, my 2 main characters, I've got, it's a little hard to see there, but my big character, he's basically a big rectangle, and then my Chancellor character is going to be primarily a big S shape. So I worked that out, I put those guys in there, and then I did my quick sketch there. That's what was for last Friday. So if you didn't turn that in before spring break, make sure you get this part done first. Okay, this makes the next part super easy if you've done all of this, okay? This doesn't take a whole lot of time either. I spent maybe a total of 20 minutes on this entire thing here. So don't get all locked down with, I can't draw, I'm not very good at, well, the way you get better is to practice, okay? And whether we had digital illustration and we had the workstations at class or not, I would still have you do this step, okay? This makes you a better illustrator. On to this week. Once I have this, I go on to work on my final, okay? Again, I want you to work with whatever you have at home. I specifically have my final board here, which is a delicious box of Cheerios that I took the back off here. I also have a pen and a pencil I found specifically on the floorboards of my car, okay? I'm not using anything special to do this. Okay, whatever you have laying around, if you have white paper, that's great. If you have something else you want to use, you want to do it on a piece of cardboard, I don't care. It's a little bent up here, but that is fine. I'm going to take the grid technique from my rough sketch here, and now I'm going to grid it out, and you can just grid it out with an X. I sectioned it 2 more times. If you like, if you can do it with just 2, just do it with 2, but it just helps you lay it out in the same fashion on your board so that your composition is similar, so when you transfer it to your final board, you get the same composition. So I take the grid technique, and I transfer a line drawing onto my board here. So there is my line drawing. On my line drawing, so yesterday, that's what you should have done yesterday, was to transfer your drawing onto a final board. Mine is approximately 9 by 12 because that was approximately the size of the Cheerios box. Work approximately in that size. You don't have to be specific. 8 by 10 at least, I would say, you want to be at, just to make it easier on yourself. Drawing really small is difficult. So if you want to go bigger, you can. And then you're going to lay this out. Today I'm going to take this and I'm going to use ink on here more so that you can see it more so than not for my purposes, but just so you guys can see it. After I get this done, I'm going to go and I'm going to render it, and I'm going to use a light source. I'm going to draw an arrow just like we did in class, and I'm going to draw with my light source. I'm going to use the stone as the lighting, and I've went ahead and thought a little bit about where this is at. So that's what we're doing this week. Okay, later this week I'll put up another video, but I wanted you just to see that I'm using just everyday materials. Whatever you have is fine. But again, if you anybody can do this. This makes you a better illustrator. Whether we were in class and we were doing this digitally or not, I would still make you do these steps. These helps. We're talking about storytelling and character design here is what we're working on specifically on this project. So do these steps. If you do that first step, the second step is actually putting down your final is super easy. You're just transferring information from one point to another and slowing down and doing your details a little bit more. Okay? Do good work. If you have any questions, I'm in the office every day from 8:30 to 12 answering emails and taking calls. I have a Google Voice number now at 937-506-6424 that you can call me directly. If I don't answer, just leave me a message. I might be on the phone with other people, or I might be recording a video, and I'll get right back to you as soon as I can. Do good work. If you have any questions, shoot me an email. Have a great day.